I've got it, it's here. Let's get it open.
Right, so I have had this thing for a grand total of 10 minutes while I get sort of set up to record this video. So as you can see, it is the DJI Mini and it is the Fly More combo. You can see, obviously, you've got the new batteries, new style controller, Mavic Mini and a different case. To be honest, you've probably seen all of this, but I'm just going to open up anyway and do a quick comparison with the original Mini, and then we're going to crack on with some flying. So let's get this open. Right, so as you can see, okay, so we have the 10-kilometer OCUSYNC video transmission, but that is confirmed that in this country, the UK, that is not going to get, basically you're not going to get that full range. 31 minutes flight time, less than 249 grams as we're expecting, and obviously wind resistance is something that I'm hoping to test. One-tap videos, quick shots, panorama, you know the score. Right, let's get it open. Nice case, feels heavy duty. So we are open. And what we've got in here, let's start with the unfun stuff. So we've got some spare propellers, and go to a side, propellers again, controls, perfect, and then the micro screwdriver that you get for the props. That's that section empty. Then we have the battery pack. No, we don't. We have the controller, and that is the new style one. Put that to a side. Got some accessories, bits and pieces. What we've got in here, no one's really interested, but let's have a look anyway. I can always cut this bit of the video out. Quick start guide, no one cares. We have our battery pack. Let's get this open. I'm guessing one battery is already in the drone. Brick charger, same as the last one. We have some cables depending on the phone that you're using. So we'll have USB-C, we'll have the iPhone cable and micro USB. And what's this? Should be the charging cable, which is incredibly short. Okay, interesting. Right, that's that. Let's get the drone out. Clear all that away. There she is, as you've probably seen already on different people's videos. We have this new little strap here, that's quite cool. Keeps it nice and neat and tidy to go in the case. So, let's start comparing it to the original one. So again guys, I'm obviously not paid by DJI. I will always try and strive to give my best opinion that I can possibly do so. So as you can see, the new one comes with this controller. It is bigger. Now I've heard quite a few rumours and comments to say of this is so much heavier than this one, and quite frankly, I wouldn't say it's huge, not at all. This is new to me. I've never had a Mavic drone before I had the Mavic Mini, so obviously this is all I'm used to. There was a few issues with that, as in every time I wanted to use my drone, I had to take my phone case off take my phone case off my phone because it wouldn't slide in, because obviously these were quite narrow. Yes, I could have got a over-the-top holder, but I didn't. All right, and obviously you've got some sort of antennas which can be a bit flimsy at times. But obviously on this one, we're using OCUSYNC. So what we've got on here, so we've got our return to home button, power on button. We've got our pause return to home, cine mode. We have normal mode and we've got sport mode. We've got obviously your gimbal wheels, stop recording, and what's also cool is this function button. I'm going to go into that a little bit later so you can see what that does. And most importantly, obviously we have this new phone holder, which extends depending on the phone you've got, something bigger. Now I just think that's a nicer place to have it, because obviously before with the old one you are sort of flying it here but then looking down, and I don't know, I just feel like it was more to check the line of sight of your drone, whereas this obviously is quite easy to just sort of look up. Feel might be a bit easier. So that's the controllers explored. Obviously, don't forget this is an OCUSYNC controller. Obviously, part of the reason why it is bigger. But I'd honestly, guys, people say it's supposed to be a narrow sort of lightweight drone to take away with your backpacking. But to be honest, I mean, let's compare the cases. At the end of the day, they all fit in, and don't know if I can get this in the shot. You know, there's not a huge amount of size difference between the two, and you know, I think that case and this combo will be perfectly adequate, and I don't think it's going to start weighing any backpackers down, because I've seen some complaints about that. So let's move on to the drone. Right guys, so I just want to talk about the brief similarities between this and the other one. Actually, I don't know if this is just me. This actually feels lighter. I don't know if that's a placebo effect or not. I don't actually know, but it feels a little bit lighter. So this won't be the first unboxing video you've seen. So as you can see, it's got the 4K camera. Still got the rear sensors, just the same as the other one has. To be fair, they look absolutely identical, which is what you'd expect them to be. Obviously, the new one has this LED sort of light at the front here. Not entirely sure what the benefit of that is, because I can't imagine it's going to be that bright to the point where you're going to see it. So you can see, again, on the back, we have switched from micro USB to USB-C, which is one of the things that I really, really wanted. And one of you guys did ask me if the Mavic Mini battery will fit in this. So let's give it a test, and that answers that question. And we can take that off our list. Yep, that fits. Let's go ahead and turn it on just to see if it does power up. Right, so that's powered up. So that is confirmation. You can use the original batteries in this one, and as you can see, there's a little LED light on the front as well. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off because I don't want it on yet. And we'll just remove that battery and put that to a side. Okay, so obviously the difference between these two are, as I've already mentioned in a previous video. So this one has 2.7K, this one's got 4K. So I want to talk about the wind resistance, because obviously that's one of the major features. So this is basically wind resistance 5, this is wind resistance 4. Doing calculations and working in miles per hour, this one should give you around 7 miles per hour, which I think is about sort of 10-11 kilometers per hour, better wind resistance. Or if you want to do it in meters per second, this is wind resistant up to 8 meters per second. This is 8.5 to 10.5 meters per second. Now, obviously we know that the wind is the Achilles heel of Mavic Mini, so where's that possibly coming from? So I want to quickly talk about one little observation of mine, and that really is the props. So the props on this one, I've never really noticed it before or even thought about it until I've got this out of the box. So the props on this are quite flimsy, you know, whereas these seem to be so much more robust and stronger. Maybe that's part of the wind resistance. Okay, now obviously main thing to talk about is, as you already know, this won't be the first unboxing video you've seen. It does have 4K. You know it's going to have 4K with 100 megabits per second transfer rate. However, I am told that 100 transfer rate is actually variable, and it does not all the time. So just bear that in mind, guys. Obviously, that's just got the standard 2.7 camera, that obviously some people, including myself, have been more than happy with. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get these fired up, and then we're going to go and explore and do some flying. Right, so we're going to go ahead and place a battery in the drone's drawer, and then we're just going to press the button once and then turn it on, and then we'll lay that flat. One thing to notice while we're just waiting for the battery to update is one thing I've not seen a single YouTuber mention, and actually what is missing? What is missing? Prop guards for flying indoors. Obviously the original Mini, Mavic Mini came with them. The Mini 2 doesn't. Just worth a note that nobody's actually mentioned it yet, or as far as I'm aware, that there's no prop guards that comes with the DJI Mini 2. So what's different from the Mini 1? We've now got this new feature. So obviously you can still click the metric, meters, kilometers, or imperial. I'm going to stick for a metric, front LED. Okay, so let's have a look at the front LED. Alright, so you can see that hopefully on camera is white. Alright, so try and get it in the shot. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click disable in the app, then that should go off. And click rainbow, which of course that's going to then cycle through colours, as you can see that is doing there. Pretty cool, huh? Solid colour. And then obviously that solid colour you can then change. So one might have yellow or green or blue. Really cool that. Now
blue is going to be my preference, so I'm just going to leave it there. Right, so let's put the drone back down now. I've shown you that little piece. So what we're going to do is follow through the thingies. So allow upward gimbal rotation, that's something you're going to want on. Gimbal mode follow, yep, we know that. Advanced gimbal settings, pitch smoothness. Now these are some new settings here. So as you can see, we have raw rotation speed, which is really, really cool. Raw smoothness. That's especially ideal, obviously, and you can sort of set it between normal mode and sport mode. Because sometimes, I mean, I found this myself. So sometimes I have been in sort of, if you've been watching this channel a while, you can see that I've been sort of chasing down a ship. So I've been in sport mode, but then when I've needed to sort of do any yaw, I've had a problem because it's been in sport mode, so the movement's been too jerky. So this is a really, really cool piece of kit where you can obviously adjust those parameters. So let's back out of that. We've seen that. Camera. Right, so this is quite important. So that's your RAW. So that actually does confirm that the Mavic, the DJI Mini 2, I keep saying Mavic, I need to get out of that habit. The Mini 2 does have JPEG and JPEG plus RAW. So we're going to switch that on. And then anti-flicker, we're going to leave it on auto. Histogram, as you can see, that's up in the corner. Overexposure warning, you know what that does. So we're going to turn them back off because I don't use them. Alright, OCUSYNC HD photos. Grid lines that you can see just popped up in the background. Or you've got those ones as well. Or you can add just a dot. Or do whatever you wish. Combination of the two. So white balance, auto or manual, that's quite cool that you can set that, but just leave it on auto for the purpose of this video. Cache when recording, yes, and max video cache capacity, 2 gig, obviously you can change that as well. Transmission, so as you can see here, you know, we've got dual band, we've got manual 2.4 and manual 5.8. Given the fact that it's OCUSYNC, I can't see any reason on this earth that you would ever change it from dual band, so we're going to leave it all alone. And the about, just obviously give your drone a nice little name, call it Fred if you wish. So let's get those batteries on charge, and then obviously we can see about giving it a little flight test to test the noise. Right, so I'm just going to do a little sound clip just to compare the pitch and sound between the two of them, purely because obviously I've already been out and flown it by the time I'm recording this bit, so there is a bit of a sound difference between the two actually, so I'm going to show you that now, and then I'm going to show you some 4K footage. So what do you think? A little bit of a difference in tone on theirs, isn't there? Right, so like I say, straight to some 4K footage from earlier, and yeah, I might have put both drones up in the air at the same time. Quite cool. Let's see what you think. Right, everybody, I'm actually back from flying this now, so hopefully you enjoyed that footage. What did you think to the 4K? It looks good, doesn't it? Okay. Now, that was in quite a low light setting. I did actually also do a range test, okay, between this and the Mini one. That video is going to be posted tomorrow. Basically, I want to do it again in a slightly different environment and compare both back to back. I've also done a video comparison between the two, 4K versus 2.7K. So again, look out for that. That will be launching tomorrow, like I've just said. But a couple of little observations when I've been flying this drone. Firstly, to answer somebody's question again, not only does the original Mini battery fit in this, you can actually fly it on that battery quite happily, which is what I've just done, and I've tested it out. So absolute tick, it does take the Mini 1 battery and it works fine. A little observation. So this little propeller holder here, all right, it's a cracking piece of kit. However, I do find it a bit of a pain. It's very fiddly to actually keep getting it on, especially if you're changing locations. You know, I found myself visiting a couple of little different locations to try and get some decent footage. And what I found is basically I was kind of leaving it off when I'm just slipping it in the case because it's really, really fiddly to keep putting that on. So that's a little observation on this little Mini. Secondly, it is obviously faster than the Mini one. Again, you're going to see that footage. Really, really cool. They're chasing each other. Amazing. This Mini even captures, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to include it in this footage. If I did, brilliant. If not, then obviously you'll see it tomorrow. It even captured the other Mini returning to home when it lost connection. So that's quite cool. I have noticed that the braking on this doesn't seem to be as responsive as the Mini, the original one. Now, whether that's because it's flying faster, I'm not too sure. But I did find it needed a little bit more room for braking. So just a little word of warning, if you are flying it in a sort of congested area where you maybe have trees and you're sort of returning to home and you're just rushing along, just be aware of that. Because like I said, it nearly caught me out. I don't actually have footage of it because I wasn't recording at that point. It was my first little fly around. But yeah, it literally was a bit of a worry. And I thought I was going to fly it in trees, but I didn't. It was all good. But yeah, just bear that in mind. Right, so I think we've covered everything on this video. Now, I do appreciate you guys watching and watching to the end. Obviously, I'm not a professional YouTuber like the other guys. Obviously, I've had to try and cram all of this in a couple of hours worth. By the time I'd got it here, and then I had to charge the batteries and go out for a flight and get it set up and do the firmware updates on the batteries. It's been a bit of a pain, to be perfectly honest. So tomorrow I'm going to have a little bit more time to go through it. But yeah, I wanted to get this video out, guys. First impressions, I do like it. I genuinely do like it. And again, you'll see tomorrow on the range test, of course, OCUSYNC did give a better range than Wi-Fi, but it was actually close. Very interesting, actually, because it did cut out quicker than I thought it was going to do. Not entirely sure what caused that, but yeah, very interesting. So thank you very much for watching. Again, like I said, please have patience. I know that obviously other YouTubers have had it for a couple of weeks, and I've had this for 3 hours. So hopefully this video tells you what you need to know. And like I said, we've covered quite a lot of the points that you guys asked me to check. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to have a back-to-back comparison both on video quality and on the range. So that should be a good one. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that video. And please feel free to subscribe for the coming ones. And like I said, I'm going to test this in a lot more detail and pit it against the Mini one. And obviously, I've not had the opportunity to test wind today because, believe it or not, it's flat calm. Never mind. Thank you very much for watching and see you again soon.